Welcome back, everyone, to Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Today, we're going to the store or mall. We're going to the mall again.
This is a fun one. So we back in World One that we went to the mall. It was I think the same brand of mall as well.
Yes, I believe
It was
so.
one of the I think one of the primary sort of like advertised levels of the game. And in this world, we get to go to another one just like it, although not quite just like it. This time we're going through the back end of the store.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
and I
But I
do.
like this taking it's fun.
Yeah, I do like the
Yeah, it's like taking a Sorry, you first.
I do like the contrast between like the store side and the staff side. How the staff side is like darker than the store side.
Yeah, haunted with ghosts.
Yeah. It's fun. It's really fun.
This is probably the closest sort of the game comes to actually reusing a level theme for like the regular levels in a sense, but it's also completely different from the other store.
Yeah,
Completely different gimmick as well,
yeah.
and looks, I think, quite respectfully different. Yeah.
Yeah, like the first few was like I know that the first one was like about conveyor belts, uh, and I have to move around them. The second one was like a maze that you have to find your way throughout the mall, and this one it's just you crossing uh, both the staff side and the store side. So and it's sort of like in a sort of day and night switch, and yeah.
Mm.
Uh, at, and you all saw that there was a hole in the wall, and if you have the correct shape
Yeah.
of the mouthful mode,
A very interesting use of mouthful modes in this level as
yeah,
well.
which is
Very fun and unusual one, yeah.
if
Basically, get the right shaped mouthful mode and put it in the hole, unlock something from the hole.
yep,
We can hear something behind that wall in particular.
can we? I don't actually know.
Uh, I heard that there was a Waddle Dee behind it. You can hear him saying, doing his help noises.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
all about just taking the mouthful mode to that location, to that hole, and just like opening it.
Yeah, it gives opportunity for a lot of mouthful modes in this level as well.
I will say that with
There he
with
is.
mouthful
Yeah.
mode, when you're like using the Meta Knight sword, it kind of just looks like a little cap when you're using mouthful mode. So it's like a little iron hat.
Hmm. I know it's. I just noticed that as well. It's pretty funny looking, isn't it?
Yeah,
But yeah, it's just a fun world. It's just it can be hard sometimes to talk about the levels versus when you experience them, like actually playing them and such. It's like I should play this game again at some point. Not too soon though.
I think you should. I think it warrants like. I think Kirby and the Forgotten Land is one of those games where you can play it when it first comes out, and then like a year after, you can go back to it without a problem. You know. It's one of those games that can have like a yearly uh, return playthrough.
Yeah.
You know.
I c That's true, yeah. Kirby games I find in general are probably some of the most. I think I've mentioned before some of the most replayable for me. But I am wary sort of replaying them now because I mean I replayed a bunch of them last year actually, like and also I think up to this year. Because I did some Robobot and Star Allies recently, but I've replayed like Triple Deluxe like I think at least three times now. It's got to space out the replays, because I realised when I played because in terms of single player games, Kirby Superstar Ultra might be the one of the ones I've replayed the most.
Mm.
And I realised it might just be because of how much I like the newer games though, but I've realised that as I replayed them, replayed Superstar Ultra, my latest playthrough, I found myself less impressed with the game than I used to be.
Really?
I say impressed, but you know, it felt, I don't know. I also do like to try and go for like 100% in these Kirby games. Well, relatively, they're quite good games to 100% for the most part. They're not too difficult, you know, and feels fairly rewarding.
Right.
This game in particular, actually, speaking of which, this game I think of the modern Kirby games, like true 100%, it's actually quite, I think, relatively fair, I'd say, in comparison, because the other games they have things like stickers and you know, you might have stickers and puzzle pieces and stuff to get at as well, but this game just has the like in terms of that kind of thing, like something you might have to grind. This game does have the figurines, which I think we are approaching a new tier of figurines as well
I think
in this world.
so.
Well, maybe it's next world.
I think so. I'm not entirely
Yeah.
sure.
There's quite a few different kinds of. Oh, you stuck with Toy Hammer.
Yeah.
There's a few different tiers of figurines. You can tell based on the color. Later levels have different tiers, you know, all that jazz.
Yeah, I think we're still on tier.
But
2.
as you, the Waddle Dee Town also has
no,
the
tier 3.
figurine like capsule machine as well to grind them.
Yeah. As for me, when it comes to like replaying games, I don't really find myself replaying a whole bunch of single player games. Mainly because when I do
Same.
when I do replay a game I've played before, I get bored of it pretty quickly and just drop it. Like, to this day, I
know the feeling. I think for me, replaying games is something I have to get in the mood for, and some games are naturally for me more, you know, more built for it than others, I think.
yeah. Like I played Jack 2 up to a point, like the infamous turret section in that game, and I haven't really gone back to it because of that.
Which game?
It was Jack 2.
Oh, okay. I don't know much about the Jack series.
Oh, well.
When you said turret section, I'm thinking, is he on
there
about? Is he
is-
like on about the recent Dead Space remake, or?
No. In Jack 2, there is a very, very difficult. There's a very difficult turret section.
This is a fun one.
Like halfway through
using
the
the water.
game. There's a turret section halfway through the game, where you have to like fend off a bunch of enemies, and it gets really hard to the point where players just end up skipping it via a glitch by using the hoverboard, I think, to maneuver
Certain
around
players,
some
anyhow, you mean.
polygons of the land.
I assume you mean like certain players, of course, and such.
Well, yeah, certain players, but the fact that they were willing to do that instead of just taking on the challenge really
A lot of
says...
platformers had turret sections in like in that era of games, like the PS2 sort of era. A lot of platforming games added turret sections for some reason,
Yeah,
didn't they?
they did. Jack and Dexter had turret sections in their games. Sly Cooper also had turret sections in their games.
Ratchet and Clank. Although that's more fitting for that series.
I think.
But then other games as well, like a lot of
the first
a lot of
game
more
I had,
obscure and not as good ones too.
Yeah, I know that the first one had like a turret section, but I'm not sure. Oh wait, no, the second one had a boss where you could use turrets to fight the boss. Right. Okay. Well, it's not really a turret section, but it has turrets and all that.
Kirby's never had turret sections. Actually, that's a lie. It has had a turret section in Triple Deluxe. There's basically a turret section.
But the final boss.
But Kirby's done a lot of Kirby does a lot of things in between. Like, has a lot of shooting in it actually. Like, mostly platforming, but like, you've got a lot of shooting sections, especially with like final bosses and in the older games and.
Yeah, there is Kabula.
It's funny to think about a lot of space shooting. Yeah, you've got Kabula. That even in the first Kirby's Dream Land, in fact, Kabula. You've got Nightmare from Kirby's Adventure, the final boss, with sort of like the flying and the Star Rod.
Right.
Don't know if Kirby's Dream Land 2 had it with the final boss there. Kirby's Dream Land 3, same thing. Kirby Superstar obviously had Nova.
Well,
Kirby 64 had a sort of a 3D one with its final boss.
Oh yeah.
A lot of shooting sections in the Kirby series. It's funny, really.
Yeah.
It's funny to think about that in a way, how integrated it kind of is into the game, despite it not being sort of its core gameplay.
What, the turret sections?
Parts.
The turret sections?
Well, in Kirby, like the shooting sections.
How well they're integrated?
Turret sections, space shooting sections, like, because like I just established, Kirby has a lot of those. But even in recent games, like in Planet Robobot, there's the final boss there, which has an awesome soundtrack. By the way, the final boss track in that game is one of my favorite video game pieces of all time. But Star Allies has like the friendship star like sprinkled throughout, and its only sort of 3D section. This game I think actually doesn't have it.
No, it does not.
Spoilers maybe, but for once, I mean it has Ranger.
Yeah, you could just take Ranger.
But that's not really the
place.
same as a sort of auto-scrolling space shooting. Yeah, but by that sense, like Kirby Triple Deluxe also had like Archer, but that's a different kind of thing. Yeah, Kirby has a lot of space shooting in it.
Yeah.
And a lot of gimmick sections like this.
Our
Darkness level.
My opinion.
Getting some more use out of this.
My opinion on the space shooter segments in Kirby is that I think they work well enough. I mean, at that point, you have had like experience with like some copy abilities where the ability is that you shoot stuff out from Kirby.
You shoot stuff, or you completely change how you control, like with wheel or
not to mention
things like that.
I
suppose Kirby is more built for this kind of thing than most.
Most of the abilities is activated using one button, and that leading into the final boss, the player already knows. Okay, I have this ability. I should press the other button, the B button, to see what it does. And you see that it shoots stuff. So you bring two and two together, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like I have to shoot down the final boss with this Star Rod thing, or this gun I found.
Yeah, but when I was just thinking that it's not often, because turrets in platforming games, I think, as we were talking about, I think often reviled, because it's like, we're playing a platform game, the hell's the shooting got to do with it? Makes sense in some games more than others, like I said with Ratchet. But it's funny to think about when games do that, like, you have your primary gameplay aspects, like it's a platforming game, but now there's this completely other genre in it. But Kirby, with the way it works, I think, the space shooting works quite well for the series, and also, it's happened so much at this point, it is practically ingrained in its DNA.
Yeah.
But it's like, when you think about it, it's like, it's weird that this happens so often and works so well with this series.
Isn't there like a sort of a cliche with Kirby that every single game ends with a space shooter?
That's kind of what I was getting at, because most of what I listed was like final boss levels. Like, I mean, Kabula is just one of the many bosses in like Kirby Dream Land 1, but you know, final boss Nightmare, you know, space shooting for the first half. Kirby Dream Land 2, space shooting for all of it. Kirby Dream Land 3, space shooting for all of it. Superstar. The penultimate final boss is space shooting. Kirby 64, space shooting. Well, let me think. Where from there it would be Amazing Mirror, I think. I mean, it kind of has a space shooty bit actually, like in the final phase of the final boss.
Yeah.
I don't know if Squeak Squad does.
Well,
Kirby's, I mean, even Kirby's Adventure on the Wii, you know, Return to Dreamland, that has the Landia segment before Magalore. Triple Deluxe, Triple Deluxe, kind of an outlier in this case, is that the shooter sort of turret segment is only specifically before the final boss in story mode when they've summoned the Vine Wall and all that.
yeah, Robot I know for sure.
And you know,
Robobot
Robobot
I know
has
for
the
sure
awesome has the awesome Halberd section.
Yeah.
Yeah, most final bosses in the Kirby series have been space shooters.
Who would have thunk?
It is nice when they allow you to. It is nice though when the final boss lets you use your copy abilities though, like all the other ones, just to try see how they work.
Yeah.
That's always good. Star Allies had a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah, this is.
I know that's filled most of this level. You know, space shooting. Talking about that, it's a pretty good level, I should say. I like this world in general. But there's only so much we can talk about with like level design and such, I think.
Yeah.
Unless it's something particularly weird.
I mean, do you want to go back on the level theming tangent? I mean,
You want to go back there?
I don't know. Do you?
It's a nice canyon level. I like, you know, the use of the because I don't think there might be. Oh, I didn't know that happened to enemies when those fall on them. Wow.
That was like that's like the one time that you get
Completely
to see
flattened,
that.
eh?
It's more of a. I
Damn.
guess it's more of a gag.
Poor
in that
Noddy.
case.
Yeah. I think there's something hidden around here. Yeah.
I figured because Kirby really likes to hide stuff.
Yeah. But not only do we have you know, because I think that might be the last unique light bulb section. The last world might have one that I've forgotten, but not only do we have that, we have another flying segment. We've not seen these since World 2.
Yeah, because I think this. I think it's
Getting a bunch of the obscure mouthful modes out the way in this level.
Yeah, yeah. Like most of the time, they use like Ring, even the vending machine one. Most of the time, probably because I think it's because in those cases they are used a lot more. They have a lot more potential because you can still move Kirby around. Whereas like
yeah, because they're
like Arch, Car, Water,
you know,
all have
the Arch.
specific
Well, the Arch,
uses.
not the car so much actually, but like Arch and Light Bulb, they need like more specific things designed around them, I think, because like, you know, with Arch it's a sort of an auto flight sort of thing. With light bulbs you need like darkness levels and all that.
Yeah.
Although you can make the electricity switches too. Some are just used more than others.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
We didn't design the game. Hal did. They know what they're doing. We don't. It's just the gist of the thing.
But yeah, that's original Wasteland.
Yeah, by the way,
It's always lovely when a desert world is later on.
Yeah.
Gives it more opportunities for difficulty and unique sort of level layouts.
Yeah.
We head on to the boss, but first we've got a bunch of treasure roads and maybe a mission to take care of in this level.
But first, there's something I gotta do in this level, which I think I cut out right here. Later. Right, I wanted to make sure all of it was seamless.
Unlocking a bunch more figurines there.
So yeah. Because apparently the one thing that I missed in this level was actually at the end, and it had to do with the cactus in the background. Because that is a mission.
Oh yeah, that shiny bit
Yeah.
there, yeah.
And like nothing
Oh.
nothing of value was in the treasure chest. It was just coins, so it's whatever.
Mm.
I got
But
that. I
yeah,
got
that
that
is
done.
Original Wasteland. All done. Awesome.
And on
We'll see you next time for the boss of Original Wasteland and the
yes,
treasure
and
roads.
the treasure roads, which will probably be first. I think. I don't know. I went into editing this a lot.